Good morning and welcome to English Superior Sales English. This is Ben English here today, and I'm going to be your lecturer. I'm going to be the person who is guiding you through these slides today. So the first thing to do is to look at the first contact. So the first contact means the first time you meet a potential client. This is the first contact you have with them. So it's important to remember that a first impression makes a lasting impression. So what does that mean? That means that the first time you meet someone, people stick with that idea of how you were for a long time. So if you make a good impression, then generally people will continue to see you in a good light. If you don't make a good impression at the beginning, then they are not going to trust you from the get-go, and therefore you're going to have bigger problems. So it's very important to make a really good first impression because that's going to stay in the mind of your potential client. Okay? So why are we doing this? The best salesmen spend 80% of their efforts on making a great first impression. So you can see here, even if maybe using this picture as an example, you have this bike, and it's maybe he could have left it a bit dirty, but he could have cleaned it, he could have made it, he could have painted it, he could have made it look a little bit nicer before he thought about selling it. He's put on this cool sign, and that makes it look pretty cool too, right? But the point is that you need to spend a lot of your effort on making a great first impression. It will make your job and everything else with your sales process a lot easier if they already have a good, or immediately they feel like they can trust you. So how do you do that? Well, this is the focus really, that sales is not about closing. It's not about making money. It's actually about building relationships that are valuable and that are going to serve them and help them. So the first thing you can do is smile. So when you see someone, you make eye contact with them. That's important, is the eye contact. But you smile, and you smile sincerely. So your smile comes from the eyes, yeah, and not just from the mouth. It's very obvious if it's a fake smile, just the mouth is moving. Whereas if you're using your eyes, then your eyes will also be being lifted up with that expression. So what is that going to do when people see you smiling? They are going to think that you're going to come across as being friendly and approachable. So we trust people who look friendly and look approachable. We don't trust people who look at us and don't return a positive image. If somebody looks at you and frowns, you're not going to feel very comfortable with that person. So it's basic human psychology that everyone really understands. Most people understand that when they smile, it's because they want to appear friendly. So the maintaining the eye contact is also important to show that you respect someone, but obviously, of course, you don't want to be overdoing it, staring at people, and that's the same thing with smiling. There's always you can always smile too much, and that actually works against you. Suddenly, you're not that trustworthy anymore. Nobody trusts people who fake smile. You need to look professional as well. Look as good as you can at the job because that's going to give a good first impression. They can see that you're taking this seriously, and so that they can take it seriously. You're taking your job seriously, and therefore that shows that you're responsible, you're smart, you're intelligent. You're going to help give them the solutions they're looking for. Whether it's a product or a service, whatever. If it's coffee here, we've got some nice looking coffee. People are buying with their eyes, so they'll see the good coffee and they'll choose to purchase that based on how it looks. So yeah, your basic appearance needs to be tidy. Obviously, depending on where you're doing, where you're working, make sure you're in your uniform and it looks good. It's been ironed and you're taking care about it. Your clothes are very important. You should care about the clothes. Your body language as well. So you want to be sat upright as much as possible, straight back, shoulders back. not leaning on furniture, not leaning on the walls, not, with your arm, on your elbow and your hand, that kind of thing. You don't want to do that. It looks like you are not taking this very seriously. So you need to act, and your body needs to represent how you should be portraying your service, which is in the most professional way possible. So that is a smooth, nice looking gestures as well. So gestures are what you do with your yep. So gestures should be smooth. They should not be abrupt and crazy. You should just be, your body language should be calm and controlled, just as you want to represent your company, the service or the product you're offering. Make it look professional, um, as much as possible. And obviously your attitude as well, your attitude. So, the body language can affect that, but if you've got your arms shut off, or are you got your arms open, are you expressing yourself in a positive way with the smile, or are you, I don't want to work here, I don't want to be doing this, my back's turned to you. There's a lot, your attitude says a lot. The best thing you can do is try to be as attentive as possible, really, and just show that you're willing to do 110%. Is there anything more that I can help you with? And also, your clients will try to look at you in order to get their attention if they need some help. So make sure you're looking out everywhere and you're very aware of what's going on. These little things, these little details will show that you're caring for your clients, and therefore you care about them and you're building trust. And if they like you and they trust you, well, they're going to probably buy from you. So this is the point. So if you act professional, it comes across as being trustworthy, you're also empathetic, and you're doing things with care. So 110%, you're really looking after your clients. And that's what they want. They just really want to have that trust that you're providing to them the best product or service, and that you're going to deliver that, and that you're also considering their needs and their desires, and you'll also do 10% more if you need to. So that's acting professionally. Tone is also important. So the way you speak is going to affect how people perceive you. If you come across as being very aggressive, obviously that's going to, if you sound aggressive, it's probably because you're acting aggressively. So your tone should not be violent, it should not be punchy, it should be calm, it should be relaxed. You should be offering certainty, so you need to be confident, not going, not, I'm not really sure. No, you need to be, this is how I'm going to speak, and it doesn't matter if I'm not, my grammar's not perfect, I'm speaking with confidence, that I'm communicating the important points here. So in terms of sales as well, if you lower your voice, so if you make it a bit more quiet, you can also, it kind of adds this psychology of scarcity or a secret. So if I start whispering and I say, look, for you, there's a very special price. Um, People are going to actually physically move in closer to you, and if therefore kind of makes it seem more important. And I recommend that if you're offering a promotion or a special deal, definitely lower your tone, the volume of your voice. It helps to have that perception of what you're getting is a special deal and it's just for you. So enjoy it. It's also, it can be disarming as well, right? If you imagine that somebody is not happy or whatever, you need to be relaxed and you don't want to stress out your clients by having the wrong kind of tone. So you can say two things in the same, you can say two, sentences in the same way. You can say, don't do that, which is kind of that was a soft tone to it. Or you say, don't do that, and that's got a much harsher and much more aggressive tone to it. So the same thing comes to actually selling as well. When you get to the point of selling, you want to be quite disarming. You want to have a very relaxed, no big deal kind of attitude to your tone. So, yeah, that will be $3,000, sir. Would you like to pay by cash or by card? There's no big deal in that tone. Whereas if I was like, that's $3,000, is that okay? Now you're making it sound like, oh, $3,000 is suddenly maybe a lot of money, or there could have been a mistake there with the payment. So a relaxed, no big deal, is the right kind of tone to use for sales. Service. So what were you doing? Service is important. So you want to be the expert. So every salesman should know the product that they're selling. They should know it inside out, all the features and all the benefits, and really know all the little details. So you need to be the expert because that's why they've come to you, so you can help them out. Think of it like a car dealership. You go to the car dealer, and the car dealer will give you all the specifications about the engine, the size, the previous owners, and all that. If they just said, oh, I don't know, I just found it. I found this car and I bought it off some random guy, but I don't really know much about it. You probably wouldn't want to buy that car because you don't have much information about it either. So it would be a very high risk, potentially bad reward. So you want to be intelligent, witty, and enthusiastic. So what does that mean? So intelligent means, you're using logic to, get the sale across, get things going. You're providing, answers that are actually what has been asked of you. You're witty in that aspect that you are smart and you're quick at responding to these issues without having to, check the manual or do some ask somebody else. You already know those answers like that. And of course, being enthusiastic is important too. So showing that you're giving your energy basically. A lot of actors, they say this is your moment, this is your moment, so give it your all. And that should be with everything in life, whatever you're doing, give it your all, and that comes across as being enthusiastic because you're putting yourself in the moment and you're doing everything. I mean, your brain is just focused on that task. You're not daydreaming about being at home watching a movie, being on holiday, because you could be at work but your mind is somewhere else. The point is, here you're totally with the job, you're with your clients, you're present with them, and therefore you're enthusiastic. Of course, you got to be yourself as well. You can't change who you are, but you need to learn to, if you don't like talking to people that much, that's fine. That's not your normal talent. That's not who you are. That's fine, but it will help to learn those skills to talk to people. Same thing if you're normally a very natural speaker, it will also help you to become a bit more introverted and reflective. So be yourself. You can't change who you are, but certainly try and adapt your talents and find your weaknesses and work on those weaknesses. And finally, be confident. Be confident that what you're selling is a great product or service, that you genuinely believe it is a great service and it has value in it, value for money. You know that the experience will be remembered more than the price of the ticket in 10 years' time. So when you're selling whatever, they're going to remember the service or the product. They're not actually going to remember how much they paid for it. So you just want to be confident that what your product or service is truly the best, is really, in fact, so good that they would be losing money by going to one of your competitors. You really have to be aligned with your product and believe it is the best option. If you don't, then you're probably not working for the right company. So it's very important that you're aligned with your company's mission and vision for the future. So titles are important, especially with hospitality and sales. It's People love their own names, so if you can use their names when possible, in order to remember that, you can repeat the names back to them. Hi, Ben. Hi, I'm Ben. Oh, hi, Ben. Yeah, try and make a mental image. Spend 2 or 3 seconds to really remember the name or write it down. Why? Because people love their own names. They like hearing it back to them, and that shows that you care about them and that you want to help them, and you're referring to them in a way that's quite informal and kind of friendly. So if you can't do that, or it's not really appropriate, well then you use titles. So sir, miss, or madam. Now these days you also have Ms. So this Z sound rather than miss, which is something to do with whether you're married or not, and you don't want to identify being married or not. So if you're a woman. So Ms. You could also have master for a younger man. So this would be like Master James, and Madam Laura or something, or Ms. Laura. Maybe she's not married. And of course, you're using the appropriate greetings for the time. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Good night to say goodbye. Yeah, and then you should be all good. So that's first contact, guys. Remember, lasting impressions, first time impressions, lasting impressions. Yeah, there's things that you can do to immediately propel your potential to sell. So I'd love to hear if you've got any ideas or any stories that you relate to. If you'd like to write them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next lecture.